created a food trailer park. And I did this actually before I had my book published, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate, bestseller on Amazon and Kindle. Be sure to get it. I learned a lot in the last 6 months, and enjoy the video. Today I thought I'd go ahead and share with you a little bit about food park business. And so that's what we'll talk about, pros and cons. So this food park I started about, I don't know, 6 months ago, and I can share with you a little bit of what I've learned. This is a property that I own. It's a pretty prime property. You can see back here, I got an Indian food trailer, Mediterranean food truck, barbecue here, Mexican food here. I'm gonna have like another sort of truck too, I forget what it is. They serve, I don't know, burgers and fries. You know, a lot of people that are in the food trailer business and food truck business, it's kind of a lot like business startups in the retail centers that I own. Just a little different, a little smaller scale, obviously, less money at risk, but you still have the same pitfalls. Most of them fail. As far as an investment goes, you know, you can, if you have a great location, like this is you can see all these cars going by and you can hear the traffic noise. I have a good location. The other thing I have is very important for a food park. A lot of them like to be down in the city areas, and they expect all their traffic to be walk-up traffic because there are people in the surrounding buildings. That's really not a problem. That's really not a factor, because what is a factor is if you're going to have a food trailer, you got to have traffic of some kind, whether it's foot traffic or people coming in cars. But if they're coming in cars, you got to have parking. Well, I've got a lot of parking. You can see I've got a very large site here, and so I've got a lot of parking around here. That's what I had to tell some of the people that were nervous about moving from the city. They were concerned about traffic, as anybody is in business. So anyway, that was a non-issue. So once they got settled, I can tell you the ones that do well in the food trailer business are the ones that stay in one location, because it's like any business, people want to be able to count on you being there and know that they can go get, go buy their burger or their burrito or whatever they want and know that you're going to be open. A lot of the failures that I've seen here, there was a really nice seafood truck that was parked here, trailer, great, most beautiful trailer I think I've ever seen. But business not so good. Had another raffle truck, same thing. And what the common problem is I see food truck and trailer failures is a lot of them are the best business people anyways, from what I've noticed off the bat, but they don't stay in one location. They try to chase events. They go to, oh, there's a concert, or there's an event here, or there's an event there. And so what they do is they leave this location to go service an event, and then their core business, what I would call their bread and butter, comes here, and they're not there. And now they become unreliable. And so also keeping bad hours. A lot of times the truck will be here, they look, oh good, I'm gonna go get something to eat. They go there and they find out that they decided not to open that day, or they're closed that day. So when it comes to food truck failures, not keeping consistent business hours and or consistent business days. If you take off and service an event and then they come back, I mean, you blew it with a lot of customers that day. And I would try to tell that with the people that have already failed and gone. But there is a high rate of failure among food truck businesses. And I only have my own little food park here to base that on. But as far as somebody like myself, if you own a prime piece of property, and where there's traffic and there's parking, it's not a bad deal. You gotta have water, okay? The other thing you have to have is you really need to have an accessory bathroom. It'll be a city ordinance. They want everybody to be able to have not for the people that come to buy food at the park. They want all the people that work in the trailers to have a bathroom for obvious reasons. Keep their hands clean, number one. So you have to provide a bathroom facility, and that's one of the things that the city will usually require and want to see, is they want an owner like me sign their permit or whatever that basically assures that there is a bathroom facility on the property for them to use. And I've done that. And now you can see I've got canopies and stuff here. You know, if it's raining, rain kind of shuts these guys down to a degree. Not completely. Some of them will close in the rain or really cold weather. Of course, a day like this is going to be decent. It's a little bit breezy, but it's not super cold. Also, it can be very hot, and sometimes the heat, I think, deters people from wanting to sit down and and sweat. So shade is important, and/or cover from rain is important. With the new apps and things, though, it's not such a factor. The rain, I don't think. I mean, I do still see them close in the rain sometimes, but enough of them have a good enough following. That's the thing. Once you get established and they stay in place, they get their return clientele. And with that repeat clientele, that's good through any, rain, snow, or extreme heat. People will come back, and they'll call in their orders, then they can come back and just pick it up when it's ready. In fact, I'll see a lot of the trailer businesses, they'll have somebody's order ready, and then they recognize the car. And so as soon as they see the car, they step out and bring it to them if they're not too busy inside their trailer. Otherwise, they'll let the customer just come to the door. So I just wanted to share a little bit as far as, again, as an investment. You can get anywhere from say $500 to $1,500 a month, depending on your location per trailer. I fall in the middle here somewhere, about 800, 600 to 800 a month on these trailers. And of course, it's a bad month and a lot of rain, and I don't see a lot of customers. I'll cut them a break on their rent, take off whatever, 25%, because of course I want them to succeed. And especially the new trailers, usually are, they're building up their clientele, and they have a little more, they got to weather the storm. They got to get some customer base. As far as an investor goes, owning a piece of land, if you got a prime piece of land, and it's you're not going to build on it right away, and you got water and you got power, I say do it. Give it a go, and it's worth the money that it returns. And as far as if you're a food trailer proprietor, if you don't already know, or if you're getting ready to go in the business, what I would tell you is find a good location with overhead you think you can, handle, and stay there. Stay there. Don't jump around, because you're cutting your own throat when you jump around. You may go to an event and make $500 that day, where you've only been making $200 a day or $100 a day at your fixed place like this. But this will grow. This will build. As long as assuming you have good food. So I would say try to keep a location, and then just do your marketing online and bring people to your door. The other things I think get people in trouble is if and I know this because I've owned a restaurant, and I wasn't a very good restaurateur at all, but I own the real estate too, so I made up for it, is, you want to keep your menu simple. You want to be able to serve it quick. People have a half hour for lunch. They do not want to wait 20 minutes for their food and have to eat it in their car while they're driving back to work. So you got to be responsive. You need to deliver on time and be ready when you say, if you tell them to come and pick it up in 15 minutes, the food should be ready in 15 minutes. I'm not going to say who, but I've had one or two trailers that aren't the best at that over the course of time, but they serve really good food, so people put up with it. But again, if you just make one item really, really well, you can do well, and it'll be easy to handle because you don't have to keep a bunch of different inventory that can rot or go bad. Anyways, that's all. I just want to share my experience so far with food truck and trailer business. Not personally as somebody running a truck, but as somebody that owns the property, that rents the property out to the individual businesses. That's what I've examined so far. Earlier I was saying it's important to maintain, a location in your hours. And I was saying a lot of the ones that fail don't stay in one place, right? They jump to events. Well, I went on in the video by saying it's okay to go to events, but you have to maintain your hours at the main establishment where you're going to make your bread and butter. I just didn't want there to be any misunderstanding. You can be open 3 days a week in a park like this, and the other few days a week go elsewhere. If you have an event scheduled regularly somewhere else, that may be a very profitable event, especially if you have a weekly place. Some people will go to like a, a big office building every Wednesday or every, Friday. And people get used to, wow, hey, we're gonna have barbecue, it's Friday, because they know that same truck will be there every Friday. It's not a bad deal to go elsewhere and serve an event I was mostly talking about people that break their chain, that are regular, you know, they're there all week, and then all of a sudden they decide, hey, we're going to do an event today, and they shun their customers and they ruin it for that day for those people that came there expecting to eat their food. But if you maintain days of the week, doesn't have to be every day, and you maintain your hours, I think you have much, much greater success, because I have talked to some of the trailer people that work for me, and it was very important to them that they had a regular event that they do every week, because I like everybody just to stay in one spot. I don't really want trailers coming in and off the property. So they took a location within the spot here where they can pull out, and they said, hey, we'll leave, you know, Wednesday morning, and we'll have the truck back by that night, later that night or the following morning. And so that works. And it works for them too, because for them, they have a profitable event that they go to every Wednesday, and it helps with bills, and it's also part of their coverage. And so you want everybody to succeed. In my position, of course, I want everybody to succeed, but I want everybody to be disturbed as little as possible in the park. So I've kind of had a policy of, you know, if you park here, you stay here, but I will make exception for 1 or 2 trailers that can easily pull in and off the lot without disturbing the others. But I have to have assurances that they're going to be there so many days a week, because I want everything to look consistent here. But also, I know it's in their best interest to do so as well. So I do have people that split locations. They'll be here 3 or 4 days a week, and then they'll go elsewhere for a day, maybe 2, but they maintain the exact schedule all the time, and it works very well. So keep that in mind too. If you're a business person, that even if you have a food truck or you're going to go into that business, I just want to share with you what I've observed and from what I've talked to with some of the people that have rented for me.